Really tough loss, man. We really, knew that'd be a tough game, be a hard-fought game. Probably come down the last 4 minutes, and it did. Nothing surprising there. I didn't feel good at halftime when we shot a great percentage from the field and from three. We found ourselves up by 5 points. We couldn't stop them, and we couldn't combat their size. I don't know if I've coached a game where we've literally tried as many things on defense as we did to stop them and still couldn't. I mean, we went from man switching it 1 through 4, then man switching 1 through 5, then man switching it with the guards. Then we went to zone, then we went zone to man, then we went press no trap, then press trap, then diamond. Lately, we tried everything in that game to stop those guys from getting buckets at the rim to get the game in our favor, and we couldn't. I mean, they scored 56 points in the paint. So, that's tough. We knew that. They made 7 threes in the game, I believe, or let's see what they made. Yeah, 7 threes in the game. They made 2 in the second half, and, it still came down to possession. Offensively, I thought we were actually pretty good. We got good shots. We went 4 for 16 from 3 the second half, when we had great looks the second half. I know we could say we shot 45% from 3, but I would expect us to shoot at least that, but with a lot of the looks that we did have. They're really big, so I don't want to negate that. Like, we're not – I mean, their average height is taller than our tallest starter, which is 6'7". So they're going to get some offensive rebounds. They're going to get some around the paint, but it was just too much. When you have a one-point loss, you go back. A lot of people just look at the last possession or the last 45 seconds. And there's things we could have done better. We're trying to get Rashawn on the possession before where we take a 3. They did a good job of wrapping up, denying them. But the truth is, man, when you look at basketball, one-point games, you can always go back and look at the totality of the game and think, what could we have done to not allow 1 point or to score 1 more point? And unfortunately, I think we'll look back and we may see a missed block out here or there, not enough scrap for a rebound, not enough scrap to get our hands on the ball, errant turnover. And if that happened the last possession, everybody's walking out of here talking about it. If it happened the first possession, no one remembers it. But they're equally as important. So anyway, moving forward, it is what it is. No one's going to feel sorry for us in this league. It is what this league is. This is what it is. Close games, good teams. That's a chance to win 4 of the last 6. Gave Florida one of their only losses, more than capable, and obviously they got us tonight.
What did you like from Clemens tonight?
Played with confidence, played really hard. Play with a little reckless abandon. Obviously shot the ball well, and he was a matchup problem when they switched, and he was able to get in the post and get some buckets when we had to have them.
With him, what's your how do you process through having a guy who's on a heater like that, but also has 4 fouls, and you know it's going to be a one-possession game with all the points in the paint? We
just had to roll with him. I didn't think some of our other guys didn't play as well tonight. And so we had to just go with him. And then if he fouled out, he fouled out. So he was actually doing the small things pretty good. We had some guys that weren't doing the small, that play a little bit more, that weren't doing the small things very well tonight. So we needed to keep him in there as long as we could.
That 7-8 minute stretch in the second half where y'all didn't make a shot, what went wrong? Was it just getting cold after getting really hot in the first, or was there something defensively you were doing differently?
It was not too much different. We had some good looks throughout that stretch that we missed. I told our guys, just like in the Florida game, don't get antsy on defense here. Stay solid. Don't just try to go hit a home run when we get down and 3 guys running the ball. And then on offense, you got to trust each other. There were some times we could have pitched the ball at the floor. We didn't, which I didn't like to see. But when we got back right to trusting each other, we made another run. Offense wasn't the problem tonight. Shooting 50% from the field, not having more than 10 turnovers, 46% from 3, 80% from the free throw line. Usually it's going to get it done for you if you can find ways to stop them. But we just, we didn't do a good job stopping them.
To your point about defense, just what's going through your mind when you're throwing the kitchen sink at them per se and trying all different things, nothing's working, and were you kind of at a loss that whatever you guys were trying, nothing seemed to work?
Yeah, and then even when we did play good defense, they had a great opportunity to get offensive rebounds. They had 16 offensive rebounds. Some of that we're blocking out, some of it's because of their size, but that was an issue. At the end of the day, some of these teams with size, it's not really about, and they got it. They ran a nice lot play late. And they're not negating the good things they run, but eventually they just kind of spread out. We're going to put our head down and we're going to drive you guys. We feel we're taller than you, bigger than you, and we don't feel you could stop us one-on-one. And sometimes we did, but a lot of times we didn't, and that was an issue.
Would you have liked to have seen Rashawn get the ball in his hands a little bit more in the second half, or was it they doing a good job of denying him essentially late?
You know, you always want to get the ball in Rashawn's hands. We tried to get it to him the possession before when we were up one with the ball. We didn't do a good job of getting in the ball in the block right there. We just couldn't get it to him. But you know, I think if you go back and you look at the shots in the second half, for the most part, pretty good. I bet you'll say they're pretty good for an SEC basketball game. I really do. So whatever that means, you know, I mean, we went 11 for 17 from three the first half, went 4 for 16 the second half. Were the threes much better in one half? We'll go back and look. But if I had to guess, they probably weren't that different. You know what I'm saying? So it's what the game called for. Now, they're huge. So the advantage is not probably at the rim in that game. It probably is from the outside.
You could probably bet there's not that many games in your career where y'all average 1.3 points per possession and still it's a close game and a loss. That's kind of a little bit of an anomaly, isn't it?
Yeah, that didn't happen very often, you know, at all. And that's why I said it's about stops, and we just couldn't find stops. Every possession's magnified, whether it's a turnover, you know, or not. You know, it's magnified in games like that when it's a 1 point game. When you go back and you look at it.
When you shoot that well in the first half and then you're only up 5, what's the message to the guys at halftime?
We won't win this game if we don't play a lot more physical and are able to stop them from getting points at the rim. No chance to win the game if that doesn't change, because we couldn't, skill-wise, couldn't have played much better in the game on offense.
Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead. Oh, I was just gonna ask, what do you think made them so difficult to defend in the paint in particular?
Well, I think their size, obviously, they're very big. You know, I mean, they start 3 guys pretty much 6'10" or higher. You know, so that's a problem. They're good drivers. They play to their strengths well. You know, so we're hoping to have a cumulative wear down on them. They don't play a lot of guys. They did a good job of taking care of the ball for the most part. I thought maybe we had a sequence there when we made our run back where they were a little tired. We were a little tired, but you know, we're scoring and right back in the game. So you know, size, and then they got clear doing what they're doing.
Bucky, what went wrong for y'all?
He asked me.
Sorry, go ahead,
Yeah.
Buck.
Yeah, I know it's a rarity.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Bucky, what do you say to the guys? I mean, you've lost 3 in a row, and that's obviously not good. 2 of them are by a total of 4 points.
Yeah.
You know, what do you say to the guys after one like this?
Thought we played well at Alabama. Thought we played well on both sides of the ball down at Alabama, even though they scored 100. We probably did what we had to do. This game, I felt I didn't think we played good versus Florida. This game, I felt that we will find things on this tape where we could have took a possession away with sheer physicality or scrap. You know what I'm saying? I think that we could find a possession there, you know, not about a missed shot. No, sorry, go ahead.
Were you thinking that was the play they were gonna run there, the one that they got for that?
We don't know. All we said was they're going to drive this thing they're going to try to score this thing at the rim. You know, we knew that. We made a mistake. We should have bumped the back screen. They went the same play twice in a row for the most part. Went 2 lobs in a row. Didn't bump the back screen. So, you know, it is what it is. We said before that they scored, we're not going to take a timeout. We're going to play out of 2 high ball screens, play out. We got a pretty good look at it. But, you know, again, it scored at the rim. You know what I'm saying? And we can't allow that. I don't care what happens. They can't score it at the rim in a 1 point game.
I know we've asked you about Ruben recently, but just another tough night for him shooting. Just you guys kind of found anything that he's kind of had just a little bit of a tough time with and trying to remedy there?
Yeah, with shooters, I mean, they you know, there's obviously ebbs and flows with it. You know, maybe a little tired. You know, may need to get a little bit more rest here. I wouldn't overthink it for him. I think he'll be back and, you know, may make 9 threes next game. But, you know, obviously he's a threat that, you know, when he's on track, it'll really help us.
Do you feel like they did a little better at being less antsy?
We had a stretch there where I don't know that, and it was unfortunate. We're late in the second half where Rashawn kind of stays up there on the miss, and we're going back, and Ryland falls down. We had 2 buckets we gave up in transition. We just kind of fell down, you know, and they went and racked it. And so I hope there wasn't more to that. There wasn't a reason we fell down. We were running up when we shouldn't be, but we did a good job of staying patient even when they had the lead and playing team basketball when they had the lead. That's what got us back in the game and eventually got it to take a lead. So
Anything else for Coach?
I say this, I appreciate the fans for coming tonight. They were good. We felt them fought with us all the way there, and they had an impact on the game, that's for sure. It's Wednesday night, 8 o'clock game, and we really appreciate them. We'll have a lot of these. It is what it is. SEC, man. They can go either way. But the great part is you got great opportunities every night here to make up for it. But we appreciate everybody. Thank you all.